So there are four kinds of media that we consume. And those are, we're going to go deeper into this, but let's just kind of notate those. We have active media, interactive media, supraactive media, and we have passive media. Now, it's important to understand these types of media and how we consume them because, especially passive media, it's something that we consume without even actively putting forth any effort. We just consume it. This is what can affect our behaviors and actually influence us. Everything that we consume has a large passive aspect to it, and it's in large majority what influences us without us knowing who we are, how we behave. It all comes down to passive media. But let's dig down deeper into what all these entail. So, passive media has been around since forever. Passive media is the default media, the default way that we consume information. And if we think about media, let's put it like that: media is information. Everything is conveying information in one way or another. Color is an expression of information. Everything that we see consumed through our five senses is information that we're consuming. And media in this day and age and for our purposes is things like TV, radio, and things that are created, produced for us to consume, things that we create also, for instance, TikTok and so forth, where we create those kinds of things. But with active media, it's been around, it's the way that we consume information. And generally with passive media, it's always a single direction flow of information. It's from point A to point B, me and you being point B, and point A being whatever is sending us that information. That is passive media. For instance, by reading content, that content has been written and we're just absorbing it. It's not a back and forth exchange of ideas. No, it's one way. And passive media is generally informational, and the audience just takes it in, right? So the audience, all of us here, via TV, the whole population, we just take it in. We just take in media. This is passive. There's no back and forth. It's just coming into us and we're just absorbing it. And passive media is what our phones are, it's what Facebook is, it's what TikTok, every thing that we engage with from social media is largely passive, and then some small bit of interactive, superactive, and the other forms of media. And again, let's kind of wrap up passive media. Passive media is a singular one-way flow of information from one point to another. So if we read a book or a newspaper, that information is being conveyed straight to us. We're not going back and forth. With passive media, it is audiobooks. So think about that way as well. Now, let's just notate this as passive media. And let's look at active media. So Active media, active media is characterized by the fact that it requires user interaction. So there's a bit of interaction here. So it's no longer passive. It's no longer one-way flow of information. And all of our new media, and when we say new media, it's basically things like social media, Facebook, the things that you and I engage with our phones. All of our newer media falls into this active media category. And within active media, we have interactive media and supra-active media. So we have passive media and then we have active media. And those are the two main categories. Passive, meaning that information is just flowing one way, and active, meaning that there is some interaction between the person who receives a message and the person who sends a message. So there's a flow of information going both ways. Perhaps one depends on the other to create more information. And that's active media. And so within active media, right, we have interactive media and we have supra-active media. Interactive media and superactive media. So let's go into interactive media. With interactive media, think of the internet. Interactive media is a form of media that encourages engagement. But not only engagement, it encourages active participation. So our social media, like Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, all of these social media, all of these fall into interactive media. And this is the kind of content that we see online all the time, telling you to click here. And it incorporates a mix of both passive and active media to get the point across to users that you need to engage. A lot of our advertisements are active media. It's basically active media. For instance, as a company can have users like you and I engage with ads as a means of getting revenue without anything having to actually be purchased. So for instance, we know how Facebook and Google works. It's a cost per click basis, CPC. So simply by us interacting with the ads, they are able to generate revenue. But active media is, or rather interactive media, is the vast majority of the type of media that we consume. Now, we've now moved into a newer age of supra-active media. This is basically interactive media on steroids. It's optimized. So, supra-active media, imagine a massive multiplayer online game. So if you play games online, this is what we call supra-active media because it is active. It is fully involved right then and then. It's here and now, and a lot of information is occurring back and forth immediately. Imagine when you're playing a game. Okay, you're moving around and the whole environment is adjusting to your individual movements in real time. That's what new computer chips and the games that we're playing today on our phones, on PlayStation, on Xbox. That's the world that we live in now. Super active media. And in super active media, we will find AI. So, for instance, as I mentioned earlier, just a point ago, that when, for instance, in playing certain games, as you move your character around, the whole environment is constantly shifting and adjusting based on if you move left, right. That is an AI interface adjusting the whole game to your movements. The amount of information being conveyed back and forth is massive, real time, and immense. This is super active media. And again, in online video games and video games in general, this is where we find this. And also in most of our social media today that are now incorporating AI to or using algorithms to give us what we want based on every single bit of the clicking that we do, the navigation, the browsing. The whole internet now is moving from simply not only interactive media, but the whole internet, our whole world now on the internet, online, is moving to super active media. And it's not so much that it's moving to super active media, it is in super active media. So we are now in the super active stage, whereby everything that we do is conveying information to the system that's then adjusting and presenting ads to us, adjusting websites, adjusting how things look based on every single thing that we do. So information is being conveyed passively without us even knowing, and that information is being used to shape our environment in real time. Now, super active media, again, is an optimized version of interactive media. It is interactive media on steroids, information being conveyed back and forth. Regardless of your preferred media type, if you do have a media type, we are surrounded by all four types everywhere. And they play a major role in what we are, what we do, what we think, how we behave. We are influenced by all four of these types of media. And not only that, we create it. So there are some people who build ads on Facebook, on Google, who create the advertisers on TV that make you want that new Chanel bag or that new Nike shoe. We're all really engaging with each other to provide value, and in so doing, creating the type of media that influences us. And today now we have AI creating media for us in order to influence us. I hope that makes sense. But there you go. So this diagram, I hope it's clear to some extent, has given you some view of the four types of media that we consume. You can also read the article that comes with this.